Not only have sequels been cancelled, but there are also several Spider-Man projects that ended up forgotten. We will talk about them over time, but today I want to revisit one that has sparked extreme curiosity among many of us, the version that James Cameron planned for Spider-Man long before Sam Raimi and Sony took over the project. In the 1990s, James Cameron had gained fame for his sci-fi films Terminator and Aliens, so it wasn't surprising to expect something outstanding from him when he showed interest in a Spider-Man adaptation. Carolco Pictures was set to produce and distribute the film after acquiring the film rights to the web-slinger in 1990. One of the most unusual aspects of Cameron's version was the creative liberties taken with the story, significantly diverging from the traditional Spider-Man lore, both in terms of Peter Parker and the villains. For example, a controversial scene depicted Peter having intimate relations with Mary Jane on the Brooklyn Bridge, using real spider-mating movements to convince her. This clearly indicated a more mature tone, aimed at an older audience. To work on the script, Cameron collaborated with several writers like Barry Cohen, Ted Newsom, John Brancato, and Joseph Goldman, who rewrote the text multiple times to present it to the studio. Additionally, one of Cameron's most well-known casting preferences was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who might have played Dr. Octopus. As for casting Peter Parker, Michael Biehn, known for his role as Kyle Reese in Terminator, was considered because he fit the more adult approach of the movie. However, as the script evolved, the focus shifted, and Leonardo Di Caprio, a young talent in 90s Hollywood, became the most talked-about choice for a more youthful Spider-Man, although nothing was ever finalized. The story would present a grittier version of Peter Parker, who would relate the discovery of his powers to everyday puberty issues. Artist Daniel Tomek's images, based on Cameron's script, show Peter discovering he can shoot webs from his hands, an idea later adopted by Sam Raimi in his trilogy. Another controversial scene had Peter using his abilities to spy on Mary Jane while she dressed. Additionally, Peter would narrate the events of the film, imitating the style of the comics, something that was also integrated into Raimi's trilogy, although only at the beginning and end of the films. As for the villains, Sandman and Electro were the most talked about. It was rumored that Sandman didn't appear in the 90s series to avoid conflicting with the movie. Electro, under the name Carlton Strand, would be the main villain, a corrupt businessman who gains his powers after being struck by lightning in New Mexico. This villain would not only shoot energy blasts but also control technology and hack computers. One of the craziest ideas was that Electro would electrocute women he had intimacy with. In the plot, Electro would try to recruit Spider-Man, but when rejected, he would send Sandman to kill him. The final battle between Spider-Man and Electro would take place atop the Twin Towers, an idea later used in the PlayStation video game. After the battle, Peter would distribute the money that the corrupt businessman had offered him, throwing it around the city, and reveal his identity to Mary Jane at the end. This storyline certainly generates a lot of curiosity as it's an adaptation we've never seen. So, what happened? Originally, the film rights to Spider-Man were acquired by Canon Films in 1985, but they never managed to finance the movie and went bankrupt. Consequently, the head of Canon sold the distribution rights for TV, cinema, and home video, leading to a series of lawsuits among the involved parties. Carolco went bankrupt, Marvel as well, and Canon disappeared. The battle over Spider-Man's rights ultimately stalled and then cancelled Cameron's project, as it was never clear if Carolco had the proper permissions to make the movie. James Cameron got tired of waiting and abandoned the project. Sony quickly moved to produce and release Spider-Man with Sam Raimi, which incorporated many of Cameron's ideas. It's rumored that Tobey Maguire, a close friend of Leonardo DiCaprio, was recommended for the role by DiCaprio, though there are no sources to confirm this. Without a doubt, it would have been interesting to see this version. What do you think? Would you have liked to see it, or do you think it was too risky? Leave your opinion in the comments. We're meeting again.